Welcome back. Thank you for staying with All Angles. A shootout between police and suspected CIT robbers on the M1 highway resulted in the closure of the road. One suspect was killed and two were arrested as police continue with their investigations. We've got Manqoba Mchunu on the ground with the latest. Manqoba, when we spoke a little earlier on, parts of the highway leading up to that point were still closed. Is this still the case?
Well, certainly, Masiejo. In fact, the freeway remains closed to traffic on both sides, going to the south as well as the north. And this is where that incident happened last night, the shootout, that is, Masiejo, between the robbers and police. This is where they were apprehended by police after they had given chase on them from Springs, where the alleged cash in transit heist incident had occurred. We understand that that particular incident happened around about 5 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, but police were able to then trace these suspects 3 hours later here at this particular spot here on the N1. I'm just going to step out so that you can see, Masiejo. This is just close to the Gold Reef City here in Johannesburg. And of course, as you can see, Masiejo, just there in the background, you can see the traffic is still backed up. We understand, Masiejo, that there are several kilometers of traffic on both directions as the traffic remains closed here. But the police themselves have finished as far as the investigation here on the ground is concerned. They have been able to comb the scene and collect the evidence here from the scene. But what we saw just arriving here, Masiejo, was just a number of bullet cartridges that were found here on the ground. And that tells you of the shootout that had happened here in the area. There's also a spot where there is blood stains, where one of the suspects was lying. We understand this is one of the suspects that had been shot and killed by police. Two of them were arrested by the police, and they are still looking for other suspects that are possibly linked to this, because what we understand is that it was a group of suspects that had attacked and robbed that cash in transit vehicle. They managed to make off with an undisclosed amount of cash, and police telling us that they also confiscated 3 rifles from these suspects that have been apprehended here. So the investigations are still continuing at this stage, and the police are saying that they might make a further arrest as far as this issue is concerned. But the freeway remains closed, Masiejo, and police are saying that those that have been arrested so far are going to be appearing shortly in court, perhaps in the next coming days at the Johannesburg Magistrates Court.
And obviously, we can't say police were exactly able to foil the crime because it had already happened, Manqoba, but did they tell you exactly how they knew where to find the suspects they were looking for?
Well, what to understand, Masiejo, is that following the cash in transit heist that had taken place, police have then mobilized and operationalized the information to their members who then had followed this particular vehicle. They were able to trace this vehicle here on the M1 from Springs, and this is when they then pounced on this particular suspect. So I guess they had been following or had information that they were following as far as where the suspects had fled into. They were driving in a white Toyota Quantum, we understand, and they managed then to trace this particular Quantum at this spot. And this is where they then had apprehended them, and some of the suspects, we understand, that then ran away, but they managed to catch 2 of those particular suspects. So the investigation is still continuing, Masiejo, and the details really about how this all unfolded, we understand, are still quite sketchy. But police saying that they were able to trace these suspects, they were able to then apprehend them, and even saying that the amount of time that it took police to be able to foil this was quite quick, which shows that the police were on the ground and that they were active as far as responding to this cash in transit heist is concerned. But what we know is that the bags of cash that were found here, or the bags that carry cash, they were found empty here on the scene. So would suggest that some of the money might have been already taken away by the suspect. So those investigations, though, are still continuing at this particular stage.
All right, Manqoba Mchunu live from the M1 highway.